What's up everyone, this is Luke, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to smash BETFRED and its sister company ToteSport as well via the Double Delight Hat-Trick Heaven offer. I've also got a couple of bonus tips for it as well. These types of offers are incredibly profitable when you know how to exploit them, and they also make watching the matches more entertaining as well, because a lot of the time, a lot of the stuff I do, you already know your profit before the match takes place, whereas with these types of offers, there's the excitement of wanting to will your player on to score more and more goals to increase your profit even further. So this is a great offer for both profit and for entertainment of watching the matches as well. So watch it through to the end to make sure you get the full ins and outs and my bonus tips as well for making the most money possible from it. What I will say up front is this is a match betting related video. If you don't know what match betting is and you're in the UK, make sure you go to the link in the description below. It's my free beginners course. It will teach you the ins and outs of match betting. You will learn it over the course of 10 days. It will teach you all the background stuff you need to know, and it will give you some real profit as well. You will earn about £40 in profit by following the free course, so it's worth checking out in the description below. But make sure you watch this video through to the end first of all. Okay, so what is Double Delight Hat-Trick Heaven? Well, this is an offer on BETFRED and ToteSport, as I say, and it's an offer where if you back a first goal scorer and they score first, that would be your bet over normally. But if they go on to score again with BETFRED, they will double the odds. If they score a hat-trick, they will treble the odds. So you can see where this is going. There's very big potential in backing the right first goal scorer, because if they score again, you get a huge payout potentially. Now this offer, if you're familiar with match betting, it's not a guaranteed profit offer. Like a lot of them, I say guaranteed, a lot of them are very low risk. You know your profit before the game even kicks off, whereas this one, it's not guaranteed. You're also probably going to have some pretty big qualifying losses with this offer. Generally speaking, we look up to 20% of your stake in qualifying losses. So if you're putting £20 on, you should be looking for up to a loss of about £4 maximum. Now, to a lot of people, it's quite a lot. If you're used to just a few pence in qualifying losses and suddenly you're risking 20% of your stake, it's quite a lot. So it's something you need to get familiar with. It's something you need to become accustomed to, because that 20% figure can be hard for some people. There's variance in the offer as well, but it's highly plus EV. There's a lot of value in this offer if you do it properly and you stick to disciplined qualifying losses. You don't want to go above that no matter how good the player is, because something a lot of people forget is they'll say Messi's definitely going to score a hat-trick because he's so good and his qualifying loss is 25%. But you've got to remember his chances of scoring first are factored into the odds already. He has lower first goal scorer odds than other people. This means if he does score twice, if he does score a hat-trick, you're getting a lower payout than the other players. So yes, he's more likely to do it, but you're also getting a lower payout as a result. So don't go above that 20%. That's why we look as a percentage and not as a set pound figure, because you want to look as a percentage of your stake or as a percentage of your overall maximum winnings. I hope that makes sense to you. But before we do get started, if you are enjoying this video, if you could click that like button, it'd be much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you could subscribe with notifications turned on, that means click that little bell button. That would be great too, and I'll see you again in other videos as well. Okay, so exploiting this offer is pretty simple. First of all you need to do is you need to wait for a good odds match. Now, what is a good odds match? Well, we've already discussed up to 20% in qualifying losses. Now, if you're not familiar with match betting, this is probably going to be going over your head a little bit, but I've got a free match betting calculator on the BETFRED website, so you can check that out in the description below as well. And what you'll do, you will put your stake in here, you will put the odds on BETFRED in here, or ToteSport, and then you will put the odds of a betting exchange. Now, a lot of you may have not used a betting exchange. Basically, this is where you lay a bet. It's where you bet against something to happen. So let's pick a random player. I don't know, Lukaku, Romelu Lukaku. Say his odds are 5.5 to back, and his odds are 6.0 to lay. Now, I can show you that quickly on screen now, so I'm going to do it for you and show you exactly how it works. Okay, so here we are. We're on the BETFRED website. We're going to click calculator in the main menu. Once we do that, I'll just make myself a little bit smaller so that you can actually see what's going on. And here we go. We've got this match betting calculator. What we're going to do in here is we're going to keep it simple. We're going to put our back stake in. Let's say we're putting £20 on Lukaku to score first. A reasonable stake. Even if you are new to match betting, you're going to get away with that. You know, if you're more experienced, you're going to be probably looking £50, £100 maybe. But let's put those odds in that we've already said. And let's say we're backing it on Smarkets on their 0% commission offer. So if we were to be backing at these odds, we would lay £18.33 on the exchange. So we'd be betting £20 on Lukaku, we would be laying £18.33. We'd be expected to lose £1.67 on that bet. Now, from a £20 stake, you can see that this isn't a bad qualifying loss at all. What is it? £1.60 of, so that's 8%. A very, very good qualifying loss, and one that you probably won't expect to see all that often. But let's just keep it simple and keep it with those odds. So once we've got those, we'll have backed Lukaku, we'll have laid him as well, and we'll be tracking a loss of minus £1.67. If he scores first, we'll lose that £1.67 still. But if he scores again, well, then it gets interesting because our odds will be doubled. Okay, so if he didn't score, or he only scored first, then our qualifying loss would be that £1.67 that we saw. But if he scored again, then we'd be paid out at double odds, which means we'd get an extra £90 on top. So our profit would now be £90 minus the £1.67, which is £88.33. And that is a pretty good profit. If he then scores again, we'd add £90 on top of that, which would be a very good profit of over £170 from just a £20 stake. So you can see how this gets exciting, especially if you're putting £50 on or £100 on. You can see the potential of this offer. You can get some potentially massive payouts for some relatively small qualifying losses. Now, obviously, this isn't something that happens all of the time. You're going to have times when he doesn't score first, and you're going to have times when he only scores first and not again. This is a high variance offer, but over time, if you keep your qualifying losses low, you can expect to make a good amount of profit over the course of a season or 2 seasons. But you need a good sample size. You need to make sure you're backing the players regularly and making sure that you're not missing good opportunities, but also that you don't get scared of losing a bit of money. Yes, if you're going to actually be affected by that loss in funds, then perhaps don't go with it. But most of the time, it's a small amount of money, and it's the EV you've got to think of, the expected value of that offer. If you get a very good odds match and it doesn't come in, well, you were just unlucky, and it's short-term variance, I'm afraid. Something you've got to put up with. A couple of tips for you now. The obvious one is that you need to always be alert of the DDHH games. That's Double Delight, Hat-Trick Heaven. Nice and easy calling it DDHH. You want to be aware of the games that are taking place, the types of players that will be starting, and you want to be alert. If a player doesn't start who is expected to, quite often another player will become a good odds match, a very good odds match in fact. So times like this, you tend to see players like Alexis Sanchez, who normally plays in midfield, that if a striker gets dropped and he gets put up front, he's going to become a good odds match because he's going to be priced up like a midfielder or a winger. Suddenly he's going to become the focal point of the attack, and his odds on the exchange are going to drop as a result. So you need to be alert and aware for the teams coming out. Remember, they're announced an hour before kickoff. So you're going to want to know what game is taking place for DDHH on a given day, and you're going to want to make sure that you're alert and aware of the teams coming out an hour before kickoff. The biggest tip of them all, I would say, is be aware of your local BETFRED shop. If you know where there's a local BETFRED to you, they cut the odds much slower than they do online. So here's something important to note, is that when there is a good odds match, BETFRED are going to slash those odds pretty quickly. The more people that jump on it in a quicker time, the odds are going to get cut even quicker. But in store, they don't cut those prices anywhere near as fast. I've been in half an hour after the odds have been cut before, and you can still get that odds match from before, which means you can go in, place your bet in cash, lay the bet online, and hope that it comes in. Obviously, the downside with this is if it does win, you're going to get your winnings in cash. It's not going to be in your online account. You might have to redeposit that cash into the bank and so on. But trust me, it's worth it for that expected value. There's also the in-play DDHH market now, which changes things a bit, gives you some opportunities that aren't normally around. For instance, let's say there's a really, really early goal for the team that didn't expect it. Let's say there's a massive favourite on one team for a big team to score, and the underdog team scores first in the first minute. You might still be able to get a DDHH match on the second goal scorer market and lay it on the second goal scorer market on the exchange. This is very uncommon, not always possible, but it's something to be aware of as well because the DDHH offer now goes in play on BETFRED as well. I hope you have found this video interesting or useful, and I hope it's given you some tips. It obviously will take some practice. It's normally pretty important to join a match betting site as well, so I've linked one in the description below, but I do recommend that you check out my free beginner course that's also linked below. It's the best place for you to start, and it's free. You're not going to lose anything by trying it out. So click that like button, let me know any thoughts or questions you have down in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. What are you playing at? I want to see you in another video. I hope I can see you again on another day. And until next time, have a great day.